Well, good morning, my fellow Zenites. Did you check your Pzen wallet balance this morning with your coffee? Because there is one thing that is certain in this uncertain crypto world is that your Pzen balance did actually go up. Looking at the numbers this morning, it's holding a respectable 0.004, and the volume this morning is already at 10,000 US dollars. So not a bad start to the day for Pzen. Of course, the headline is today, Pzen continues to pay 100% trustless interest despite the collapse of FTX. Of course, mainstream media is still covering the FTX story. We did a spoof fly down to the Bahamas yesterday, ostensibly to do an interview with SPF to find out the real truth. But of course, we ended up just having a very interesting rum lunch. The locals down here are definitely trying to convert me away from my native Scot and my love for whiskey, which will never dissipate, but I am warming to the idea of rum. It is much more complex in the flavors that can be imbibed into rum. I mean, you couldn't have a coconut whiskey, could you, really? Or any kind of flavored whiskey. It just doesn't work. But it does tend to work with rum. And we kicked off the lunch with a Clementine 1952, which for those of you who are in the rum world will know that's not a bad start to a lunch. And it just went up and up from there. More of that to come later, I guess. But of course, the dominant news this week is still FTX with Sam, Mr. No Bank fraud man, delivering his impassioned speech about how he didn't defraud anybody at all. He was just incompetent. And I tend to believe him. But the fallout continues. The latest domino to go is an exchange called Aurus, an algorithmic trading platform, which has its funds locked up in FTX and has ceased trading from this morning. Very sad, all these people losing money. I talked to a guy yesterday who is a German hedge fund manager who has about 1.6 million US dollars locked up in FTX. This is horrible, horrible news. And in fact, I think there's 50 investors, companies on FTX, which between them, just 50 of them, there's about 3 billion US dollars just from those 50 companies locked up in FTX. So there's no doubt this is the biggest debacle in crypto to happen to date. And of course, I think that you should go back to the very beginning of this. And the culprits, I think, are, and I'm going to keep saying this because I have nothing to lose by calling out Sequoia Capital, SoftBank, and Temasek, the sovereign fund of Singapore. These are the guys that built up the credibility of Sam in the first place. And without them, nothing would have ever taken off. So they have to be apportioned with some of the blame. And I see already that Sequoia has come out and apologized. And I suggest that the rest of them do the same thing. Going forward, though, we have bright spots on the horizon. In the macroeconomic world, Jerome Powell came out and told the markets, well, we are going to pause the interest rate hikes. Well, he didn't say that. He said he's not going to increase the rate quite so high as everybody said that they were going to. However, the last bit of the statement was, if we see evidence that inflation is receding. Well, like I said yesterday, I don't see it receding yet. Did you go and fill your car up with petrol today? Did you go to the grocery store today? Certainly from the beginning of the year, I think the prices are still exorbitantly more than they were in the beginning of January. So that remains to be seen. Of course, today we get the jobless figures out, which will also have some impact on the markets. We saw the markets go into the green yesterday. I think this is a market rally, but it's just a relief rally because actually the economy is in for a very bad time through 2023, despite what Jerome Powell decides to do this month, because he's already overshot we are definitely going into recession if we are already not in recession in the United States and in Europe and in the UK, which is completely and utterly broke in all aspects. However, so the stories are FTX once again, Horus, a German hedge fund, has lost all its money. Pzen, on the other hand, continues to just do its job. Why? Because it's decentralized finance. Look, it just does exactly what it says it's supposed to do on the tin. Look, this is how it all works. Let me just show you something here. Yeah, this, I think, is a very interesting video that everybody should be watching. So maybe I can play this, or maybe I can't. Let's just see. It may not be available this morning. We'll see. Here we go. I think this is very well worth watching, and of course I love this guy's voice.
In these tumultuous economic times, it seems harder and harder to get ahead. Even though you have made all the right financial decisions, it's never enough.
Of course,
the problem
with this
is
technology,
not you,
we don't seem to have
it's
anything working. So,
See,
once again, let's try. Let me see.
in these tumultuous economic times, it seems harder and harder to get ahead. Even though you have made all the right financial decisions,
Pzen does what it says on the tin.
In these tumultuous economic times, it seems harder and harder to get ahead. Even though you have made all the right financial decisions, it's never enough. The problem is not you, it's the system. You see, the system is designed to make the rich richer and the poor poorer. The only solution is to break free from this system. Today, you can join a new, growing economy and finally get ahead. This economy is built around a socially engineered token called Pzen, which is designed to redistribute wealth. The truth is that there is no scarcity of wealth. We just need a better redistribution system. Pzen harnesses the power of the eighth wonder of the world, compounding interest. Simply buy and hold Pzen in your wallet, and after each transaction made across the network, your token balance goes up. This is thanks to the Pay It Forward deduction, which takes 2% of every transaction and distributes it equitably to all Pzen holders. No one is coming to save you. This is the way out, but you need to do the work. You have to get educated. You have to take a leap of faith. You have to join the new economy to secure your financial future. Take control of your finances with Pzen.
So let me just explain again how it all works. First of all, your homework for today. Number one, go and read up about ERC20 tokens and cryptocurrencies in general. Number two, install MetaMask. Number three, get yourself a hardware device like a Ledger or a Trezor. And then head over to pulsezen.app to see the opportunity that is Pulsezen, and then click on the links on that website to go and get yourself invested into the Pulsezen digital economy. It's a network economy. It's your way out of this rotten financial system. Look, the wealth get wealthier and the poor get poorer. It's never going to change because, in America, you're living in a corporatocracy. The special interest groups, the lobbyists, they're in control of how everything is moving, and it always moves in the direction and always to the benefit of the wealthy. The digital economy, on the other hand, DeFi, in particular Pulsezen, is the great reset tool. You see, there is no scarcity of wealth, as it said in the video there. It just needs a better redistribution tool, and Pulsezen is that tool. Look, go to the website, go to the Telegram group, and try and find out all the information. It behoves you to get educated. Look, digital currencies are coming all around the world. You are going to be using a digital currency in your life, even if you are not involved in cryptocurrency right now. You will be. There is no doubt that this is coming. So you might as well get educated now and take advantage of that information to actually change your financial future. Now, the other big story today is about our old friend Mozilla. And what they did today is they actually acquired a company. Let me see what they're called. It is Active Replica, I think is the name. But it doesn't matter what the name is. The most important thing is they are investing in a metaverse, a Web3 metaverse. And I think this is very interesting because this is going to be the next big thing with the internet. Metaverse, 3D worlds where people are going to live a great proportion of their life. Look, the promise of the metaverse is that it takes you outside of your dull, boring life and puts you into any life that you wish to create for yourself. It has amazing possibilities. And of course, with the advent of VR, it makes it extremely immersive. So again, our prediction going forward is that virtual reality worlds are also going to be coming into the mainstream. Everybody is going to interact in a VR world in some way, shape, or form. There is no doubt of that. And of course, we have some amazing Pulse Zenites who have already created a Pulse Zen space in Second Life. It's a place where you can go to interact live with other people. And I think his name is Toddy. So a big shout out to Toddy for taking the initiative to do this. And I think this is going to be very interesting going forward because we actually have a utility for Pulse Zen now, because I believe that he's creating a shopping environment where you can use your Pzen to possibly buy real physical goods in the future. We don't know what's going to happen to that, but I think it is a fantastic initiative, and I highly recommend that all of you go over to the Second Life space and see what that's all about. Link is in the video description below here. Also, we need to get the word out as much as possible about how people can save themselves in this crypto madness. And we've now started a subreddit. So please go over and subscribe to the subreddit. And of course, comment, like, share all the content on that subreddit, because that will definitely get a new group of people to see the opportunity that is Pzen. So I'm getting ready for another broadcast tomorrow. There is no giveaway tomorrow, of course. That's going to happen next week. The registration for that is open. And of course, the Pulsinator machine that gets wound up will spit out 3 names. And those 3 names will get rewarded with some Pulse Zen tokens. You don't have to buy anything to enter. You just have to make sure that you actually give us your MetaMask wallet address. Otherwise, if you actually are one of those lucky people, we won't be able to send you your Pulse Zen. That is the only requirement for entering the Pulsinator giveaway, which is going to be happening, I think it's Tuesday. I'll just make sure that that is correct, and I'll link below this video description. So thank you very much for watching. Again, The Truth in DeFi. I will just say hello to a few people who've joined us this morning. And Crypto Steve says it's afternoon where he is. He's suggesting something there for the metaverse world. Kevin S. is sad for the gentleman with his phones locked up. Absolutely. Kevin S., how do I feel about bourbon? Well, listen, a very interesting thing. Here we go. Where is it? Where is this comment? Okay. Now that you brought it up, look, most whiskey is actually aged in old bourbon casks. That's what gives whiskey its flavor. So I'm afraid the cultures of America and Scotland will remain intertwined forever. But I guess you're talking about bourbon in the United States. And yeah, I am a fan. There is no doubt about that. But I have to say, I'm becoming a big convert to the rum. Did you know, for example, that another vernacular term for rum is actually Nelson's blood, after our famous Admiral Nelson, of course, who met his demise in a battle. I think he was shot by a French sniper, if my history is correct. So what the sailors did, apparently, is they wanted to preserve his body to enable a burial back in Blighty. and they put him in a cask of rum. Now, that was all good intentions and everything, but on that journey, they got a little bit thirsty, and the legend says that they actually drilled holes in the cask and drank the rum where Nelson's body was being, preserved. And therefore, another term for rum is Nelson's blood. So there we have it. Not only do you get the truth in DeFi, you're getting amazing facts about the rum world down here from the Caribbean. So I'm Conrad Zen, the former Bitcoin Foundation member, now evangelist for Pzen and the truth in DeFi. Please subscribe, like, follow me, go to the subreddit, go and have a look at Second Life, and I will see you tomorrow in the live broadcast for this week about the truth in DeFi. Sanji for now.